The 14th of July 2023, contacting me. I continually get requests for people to communicate with me and to give an email address. And I don't give it for the simple reason that since I started campaigning against the wind farms, a lot of people misunderstand my motives. For about 4 years from I started and I became the Irish spokesman for the European platform against wind farms, I was inundated with calls from the London Stock Exchange from people who thought, because I expressed an interest in wind farming, that I wanted to invest, when in fact I was trying to cripple them. Okay? And this is what they thought. Hello, you'll take a position with us. We'll let you in there for 10,000. How much have you? And we'll build wind farms in Ireland. And this is what happens. The other thing that happens is when people see you campaigning about one thing, they think you're going to take up their campaign and campaign on theirs. It could be electromagnetic radiation. It could be corruption. It could be this and that. But the point is, the world is loaded down with corruption. The EU is loaded down with corruption. And I am much more interested not in identifying it or having people convince me about what I already know or preaching to the converted. That's not my motive at all. My motive is to bring about change. And one of the instruments of change is that we use the existing laws that are there. And that's a tough task, but we're working on it gradually to such an extent that we forced the Irish Taoiseach Leo Varadkar and the Minister for Energy, Eamon Ryan, to go to Brussels to plead with them to stop me and to change the law, and they were told they couldn't. And at the same time, a spokesperson in Dublin for the Green Party said we can't let a technicality get in the way. Well, it is me that come up with this way of defeating them, and no one else came up with it, only myself and a few friends of mine who studied the law. So I don't need to be told what's wrong. I'm not interested in knowing what's wrong. There are two things we need to do. One is we need to use the law where it applies and get it used by those who are on a way to use it. And the second way is to use knowledge and the knowledge that we have against our enemies. Okay? And the third way is to try to build a new political system in the EU and in Ireland, or even Ireland outside the EU. And that is very, very difficult because the British people voted for Brexit and they're back nearly where they started, almost, not quite. So the thing about it is that how do you build a new political structure? I may never see the day. You do it by destroying the existing ones. There is no hope of Fine Gael changing from its woke, cultural Marxist, hate speech, anti-Christian stance. Fianna Fáil, who you'd be surprised at, is doing the same. They're not helping the farmer or the rural dweller. And so is Sinn Féin. They're promising, oh, we'll be different. And why should they be different? They're proven they're much more for mass migration than anyone else. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to bring it to the attention of people, what the reality is, and let them come back to me and tell me I'm wrong. But they won't tell me I'm wrong. They won't tell me I'm wrong. The fact is every building in Ireland is full to the brim with migrants, and all their government is crying about is not able to fill it with more migrants. More and more migrants, and that's only migration. The green energy thing, they're taking away our cars, they're taking away our cattle. That's why I campaign. I'm not in the least bit interested in peripheral stuff or minor things. I can't and will not go over in that direction. I'm sticking with my campaign the way it was formulated, and I see no reason to change it. Now, anyone who wants to so for that reason, if I gave an email, all somebody has to do is send me an email and get it acknowledged, and then send me junk mail for the next 40 years. Every crowd will be onto me. I'm constantly deleting and banning and unsubscribing this one and that one with a big long script. And people sometimes email me, and sometimes when they get I talk to them and say, I'll send you something. And the next thing you get 150,000 pages of a book as big as Joyce's Ulysses. Now you read that and that'll soon tell you. Well, I'm telling you, I don't have time to read any of that. We know the facts. We know where we stand, what's going on around us, and we know that our neighbours and our people are the best hope by convincing the Irish voter to turn against all this, and by pointing out the faults with electric cars, with the green energy, before it happens. We can point out now what the disasters are. In the case of the Ocean Gate Titanic submersible, it was pointed out by the assistant that it was going to implode and kill everyone in it. And he sacked the man that did that and sued him, and employed an airhead of a woman, about 26, who said all she can do all day is cry. And you have a lunatic or an airhead, a person in America's White House, and I prayed for the re-election of Donald Trump, who doesn't even know how to get off the stage. He confuses Vladimir Putin with Zelensky. This is what you have. There is as blatant a case as you need to go for. Okay, so that's the story. We have corruption in our national broadcaster, which was able to shut me out, and there is no indication of any new plan to change that in any event. I can be contacted. If you want to spend a stamp, it's €1.20. Send me a letter with your details on it to Val Martin, European Platforms Against Wind Farms, Kingscourt, Ireland. Now, just give you that again, Val Martin. That's all right. You're not getting my email address. European Platform Against Wind Farms. EUROPEAN PLATFORM AGINST WINDFRRMS. All the postmen know that. Kingscourt, County Cavan. That'll be delivered. Okay? You want to send me €100 for a night out with a meal and a few half ones of whiskey? That's all right too. But you want to say it's for me personally, because I have collected thousands upon tens of thousands of euros, and not one halfpenny of it ever went astray. The only thing that's taken out of it is the bank charges. That's my strong point. I'm honest. I don't need to be corrupt. You see these idiots in the BBC, and you see all this going on. Look at who the hell wants to go there or have nothing to do with them. You need not be contacting me to tell me what's wrong with the world, its energy, or anything else. We're on a downward slide to an economic collapse, in my opinion, and an possibly nuclear war in Western Europe. I'm not a politician, and until the elected people of Ireland decide to elect people like me, we can only try and point out where they're wrong. We can counter the fake media. We have to deal in a few months with the hate speech law, which is going to try and censor us. And fighting that is going to be a tough job. So we see what's happening in Finland. We see the churches under attack. We know the churches did it wrong for a long time. That doesn't mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I still think that in the rural Ireland, there is still a good deal of respect for proper priests, proper nuns, proper religion, bishops who are honest. There's still a good deal of respect, and people do come to their churches, and we should be able to pull support away from the traditional parties, from genuine people like that. Val Martin, European Platform Against Wind Farms. I proudly declare it. Andy Kenny, the Fine Gael leader, was disgusted when I told him, you're against everything. You're against everything. Yes, I'm against that sort of waste and destruction of our environment. Kingscourt, Kingscourt, it's County Cavan, Ireland. So send me the letter, and if you want to send me abuse, that's all right, but I'm not providing a link that will allow giving me a whole week every morning to delete spam and junk mail, and sometimes good emails come in and they're converted to spam, and I miss them. So we have to be very careful. Thumbs up or thumbs down on this wet July day. Thank you very much. We'll see you back.